Hello again. Are you binge watching? I hope so. How do you like the new setup? I'm floating over the food. I'm getting fancy. Right now I want to talk about chili bean goulash revisited. Yes, I've made a video for this recipe before, a long time ago. It's also in my cookbook, OMG Good Instapot Meals, plant-based and oil-free. If you have the book, go ahead and turn to page 30. You'll see it there. Now here's why I'm revisiting it. When I published the recipe in this book, I instructed everyone to cook the pasta separately in another pot, cook the vegetables in the Instapot, and then at the end, add the pasta to the cooked vegetables, okay? And the reason I did that, to be completely honest with you, is that at that time, I really didn't know how to successfully cook pasta in the Instapot. And to be real honest with you, I still haven't got that mastered. And I've had my iPot for like 2 years now, just being honest. Anywho, I have figured out how to cook macaroni with vegetables in the Instapot and turn my chili bean goulash into a one-pot meal. Thank you, Estee Hammer. Estee is a friend of mine on Facebook, and she went camping last week, and she made chili bean goulash while she was camping with her family. It was like her, you know, she's a plant eater, but her family are a bunch of omnivores. It was great. So anyways, she wanted to just throw everything in the pot, and she emailed me, and she says, how do you think we could do this? How do you think we could make that happen? And I got in the kitchen, and I started making that and tweaking the recipe and figuring out how to make it into a one-pot meal, and we got it figured out. And now, yesterday, I reshot the recipe, the dinner, and now I'm bringing it to you. So I have tweaked the ingredients just a little bit from the book, so it's not exactly the same recipe. And I have the list of ingredients at the end of this video and in the video description below, okay? And then I will also post the full recipe back on my website, simpledailyrecipes.com. Whew, that was a lot. Okay. Let's just jump right in and show you how all this is done. Okay, so I started off by getting the inner pot in the Instapot hot by pressing the saute button, which automatically goes to normal heat, which is like medium heat on the stove. Once the inner pot is hot, then I can throw in 1 medium yellow onion that's been diced, 1 green bell pepper diced and seeded, and cored, and all that jazz. 2 celery stalks that have been thinly sliced. And then I'm just going to give those a little stir. And at first I'm going to dry saute the vegetables. I like doing that. I don't have any reason why, I just like doing it that way. But once I start to see a little browning happening on the bottom of my pan, I know it's time to add a little water. So here's a good example of me just waiting a little too long. I got a little bit of scorching going on in my iPot, but no worry, a couple of tablespoons of water and it clears right up. Look at there. We just, like nothing happened. Nobody knows but me. Well, and you now. That's it. It just does. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to get the onions tender, almost translucent, but not quite all the way. It takes a few minutes, you know, as long as it takes in a pan, you know, regular pan. Okay, once my onions are tender enough to my liking, almost translucent, I want to add my spices. That's 3 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of dried cilantro leaves. I just sprinkle that over the top. Then 2 tablespoons of tamari or low sodium soy sauce, and 2 teaspoons of hickory liquid smoke. 1 cup of frozen yellow corn, and 2 cups of cooked beans. I happen to have red beans on hand. I cooked these up in the pressure cooker a couple of days ago. And so, and if you want to know how to cook red beans in the pressure cooker, go look at my Instapot recipes playlist for that one, how to cook red beans. You could also add kidney beans or black beans too. Pinto, they all work. Next, you want to throw in a 1 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes with their juice. And then here's a new ingredient. I've added a half of a 10-ounce can of spicy tomatoes with the green chilies. I usually say, we generally say Rotel tomatoes here in America, but if you don't live in America, you don't know what I'm talking about. So spicy tomatoes with green chilies. Okay, and then I stirred all that up, and then here's the important part. You want to sprinkle 1.5 cups of whole wheat macaroni pasta over the top, and then pour 2 cups of boiling water over the macaroni. Do not, I repeat, do not stir this up, okay? Just leave the macaroni and the water sitting on top of the pasta. Now, I just used my spoon here to make sure that all the pasta would sink down into the water and that all the pasta was under the water. But I'm not stirring, okay? And then I want you to see here, we're just at the 8-cup mark in the inner pot, or in the Instapot. I'm saying inner pot because that's the part inside the iPot. I should just say iPot. Okay, and then for the lid, before we lock on the lid, let's make sure that the seal is seated properly and that my metal cover doesn't have anything blocking it. Make sure the steam release handle is properly seated in its place, and then I can lock on the lid, turn it to sealing, hold in the pressure, and we're ready to rock. Okay, now I need to cancel the saute mode by hitting the keep warm cancel button. That turns it off. And then I'm going to use the manual button to kick on the pressure cooking, which automatically goes to high pressure. And then I'm using the minus key to take the cooking time down to 3 minutes. 3 minutes is half of the cooking time that's suggested on the whole wheat pasta cooking directions, okay? Let me just put a little pause here. Just a minute. Okay, so one note about the pasta, okay, very important. Whether you have whole wheat macaroni or you have white macaroni, and I'm not sure about brown rice, but let's just stick to regular macaroni or whole wheat macaroni. You want to look on the package of the macaroni and see what the cooking time is. If it says 6 to 7 minutes, then take the 6 minutes and divide it in half, and that's how long you're going to pressure cook. That's how long you're going to set the time on the Instapot. Okay, you with me? So that's why I said it. That's what my bag said, 6 to 7. So I said, let's just go for the lower number. And also, I'm going to use the 10-minute natural release method before I open the lid. Okay, so y'all know what I'm talking about there. Once the pot has come to pressure, which is about 5 minutes, takes about 5 minutes, then the cooking time begins. So there's actual cooking time for 3 minutes. And then the iPot will beep, 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 and let me know that it's done, but it automatically kicks into keep warm mode. So once it's done that, I'm gonna kind of start a timer for 10 minutes, which I don't have to, but it's smart if you're doing other stuff, you know, set a timer. So wait about 10 minutes and then come back, and then you can release the remaining pressure from the iPot. You with me? Okay, now we can move on to the next part of the clip. Okay, so there's been cooking time, it's over, it's been 10-minute natural release. It's time for me to release the rest of the pressure out of the pot. So when you're turning the steam release handle, just in case you haven't done this yet, be very careful because the steam comes out of those 3 little holes right there. So you don't want your hand over the steam release handle, just do it from the side. There you go, see how the water kind of sprays up out of there? Yeah, be careful. Okay. There's not a whole lot of pressure in the pot, so this isn't like a super big deal, but you just want to be careful. It takes about a minute for the rest of the pressure to come out, and then what I'm doing is I'm waiting for that metal rod or that cover lock to drop down, and then I'll be able to open the lid. Until it drops down, I can't even open the lid. There's no way to open the lid while it's up. Okay, sometimes it gets stuck, and if you just tap it with a little spoon, it'll fall. But, you know, that happens. And take off the lid. Look! Oh, look, it worked! Yay! Now, but I'll be honest with you, before I just went diving in and stirring in the pasta with the vegetables, I thought, let me just check this, just make sure that I'm doing everything right. We're still on track. So I threw my little macaronis in a bowl, and I just tested how tender they were with how much pressure I had to add to that spoon, which I did not. I had to press down just a little bit, and they fell apart. So when I went to taste them, they were perfectly al dente. Yes, they still had a little bite to them, but they weren't overcooked. That's my happy hand dance. I did it, I didn't ruin dinner. Yay! Okay, now I'm stirring in the macaroni. Now we're ready to commit. Look at there. Oh, it's ready, it's time to eat. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, there you have it. There's chili bean goulash revisited, updated, and made better. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed to Simple Daily Recipes yet, you need to do that. I don't want you to miss any good videos. And you certainly don't want to miss my face.